Hey everyone, it's Peter here and I wanted to make a quick troubleshooting guide for the thigh strap in Ring Fit Adventure. I know a lot of people have issues with the thigh strap not detecting properly, not registering full movement and such, so let's go through a few steps you can take to try and get the thigh strap working as best as possible. I know the leg strap detection isn't perfect, but we do have to make do with what we have, which is why I'm making this guide. I've put these under a few different main problems and we'll have a few solutions, so let's work through it. So first and foremost, we need to go through the absolute basics. We need to make sure that your Joy-Cons are charged up, so put them into the side of the switch, and we need to make sure that they are paired. Again, put them in on the side of the switch. Now once you made sure that they are charged and paired, if it's then not working when you put it into the thigh strap, it is more likely that you've got a problem with your Joy-Con, because the thigh strap, I mean, it's just a bit of fabric. The thigh strap is just a bit of fabric, so it's not actually got any technology in it. So if it's not detecting at that point, you've got a problem with the Joy-Con, you're going to need to go get it repaired. It may be under warranty, you may need to contact Nintendo about that. So, make sure you do that, make sure you know that everything is working. Then let's get into the next step. The reason I'm showing you the grey one is because that's the problem with these. These don't connect wirelessly anymore. I've got to get them repaired. Anyway, moving on my friends, let's now look at some of those common problems. The first one I want to do is one of the more prominent issues that we have, which is where the thigh strap falls down. Now the leg strap doesn't have any resistive bumps or grooves in it. It is just very smooth on the back here, and there's a Velcro fastener which you use to do it up. Nice and simple. The problem though, as I'm sure you're aware, is when you're doing a move, like you're doing aerobic moves or you're doing some running or something like that, or you're doing a lot of squats in a row, the thigh strap has a habit of slipping down and therefore causing issues. At this point, I normally just readjust it. Okay, that's just me. I normally just readjust it. I know that it happens a little bit into the workout. It's not too much of a problem, but if it's repeatedly doing it, then you want to look at fastening it some way. Now, personally, from my own observations, I find that this works better on bare skin than it does on fabric. So if you're able to work out in just shorts with bare legs, that is going to help, I feel. When I've done workouts in leggings or in joggers, it falls down a lot more frequently. That being said, I've also seen some very excellent and creative solutions from the community as well. A couple of them I wanted to highlight. If you've got tighter shorts, pull the lip up at the bottom and cover here, so it's got an extra little pocket to sit in. I've also seen some 3D printed grippers being used to hold the leg strap up as well. That's a possible solution for you. Obviously, there would be a cost involved with that one. The other solution I've seen has been fabric glue. So if you put a little bit of glue on the back here, what that does is that dries and creates that resistive surface so it doesn't slip down as much. Now the problem with that one is that that's a permanent solution. So if you're confident it's going to work, go for it, but if you ruin your leg strap, I don't advocate that, so make sure you know what you're doing before you do that. I'll try and find the link to the one that I saw about it and put it in the description below. It's probably a Reddit link, let's be real. Now there is the whole thing of doing the leg strap up tighter, and that is obviously a solution, especially when you've done a little bit of washing of it. It does tend to get a little bit slippy and it degrades a little bit and it's a little bit loose. But if you do that, just be careful when you're doing leg centric moves like squats, where your quadriceps contract, it bundles the muscle up a bit and it can go a little bit too tight, and therefore that can be quite uncomfortable if it does that. So just be careful if you're just going to try and over tighten it. Now hopefully that's going to help with the leg strap falling down. So let's go into movement issues. It does seem to be quite common that when you're doing a movement that uses the leg strap for detection, so let's say the squat or the side step or something like that, that it's not detecting the movement range properly. Now the first thing you want to do is recalibrate the leg strap. This is done by getting into the settings menu by pressing B during adventure mode, then go to settings on the menu and hit leg strap settings. This will give easy to follow along instructions which will recalibrate the leg strap to your current position. Now once you've recalibrated, if you're still finding issues, then we want to look further into the movement mechanics. See what happens with a move in Ring Fit Adventure is whichever way it's being done, whether it's being detected by the Ring-Con or the leg strap, a certain range of movement or a certain type of movement needs to be applied in order for it to detect the movement. Okay, so it is gyro based. Now with the leg strap, let's go for the squat, because the squat is one that is very common. You see a lot of people, they find that when they're doing the squat, it's not detecting it properly. You start with a leg strap vertical. The Joy-Con needs to get to horizontal. If it's not going through that range of movement, it's not going to detect the move, okay? So what you need to do is you need to be self-critical here, and you need to look at your technique at first. If it's still not working, are you definitely getting that full range of motion? For the squat, are you going from vertical to horizontal? If your thigh is not parallel with the ground, it may be that you're not hitting the angle well enough, and therefore the leg strap isn't detecting that movement properly. That's not to do with the leg strap though, that's to do with your own movement mechanics. So you need to look at what you need to do in that case in order to make it work. For example, that could be a range of motion problem at the ankles, in which case you would want to do some soleus and gastrocnemius stretches. I've got some links to some up there. You could look into regressing the squat so that you're definitely working on your range of motion. You could do that by sitting into a stool or using a pole to assist you with the squat. That's absolutely fine, as long as you're making that range of motion work for you, okay? Other tips I've seen has been to start in a calf raise, so start up on your tiptoes and then go down into the squat. That vastly increases the range of motion that the Joycon gets to go through, so therefore it detects it a little bit better. That can be used definitely in the short term. I wouldn't use it as a long-term solution though, although it is technically a way of progressing your squats, putting in a calf raise at the end as well. But point is, make sure that you're working on that range of motion. You see, the act of increasing the range of motion for the Joycons is actually a really good solution for a lot of the movements that do often get problems in Ring Fit Adventure. The open-close leg raise is a move with some movement detection issues, but the majority of the time this is because the full range of movement is not being hit, as it requires significant leg abduction, which can be tough in that supine position. Anecdotally, this can be helped by raising your legs slightly higher at the start of the rep and dropping them before opening them, increasing the range of movement, or by fully closing the legs at the start and end of each rep. The plank can be helped by creating a more acute angle at the hip at the top of the movement, and the mountain climbers can be helped slightly with having your arms wider, although that one's not an exact science. A lot of the time with the mountain climbers it's to do with the signal getting blocked to the switch, so making the arms a little bit wider seems to help, but that one, I'm still working on that one. The point is, the larger the range of movement you've got, the more it alleviates the leg strap issues, because the Joycon is traveling through a wider range. The thing that is really important to note here is that you're not drastically changing the movement mechanic of the movement you're doing. So like with the squat, doing the calf raise, yeah, that's okay, because you're still getting the hip flexion and the knee flexion in at the bottom of the move. This is still good movement mechanics. It's going to help promote good alignment with your legs, good muscle alignment, good postural alignment, and that's fantastic. It's going to activate the right muscles. Whereas in order to get great detection on moves like plank and mountain climbers, it can be a little bit easy to accidentally arch your back in a way to get your legs out further, or push your pelvis too far towards the ground at the bottom of the plank in order to get the movement right. That can cause problems because that's over accentuating certain muscles and overusing them, which can long term create muscle imbalance, which will take a lot longer to correct. So we don't want to do that. The point is, if you are increasing your range of motion for your move, you need to ensure that you are not drastically altering the movement mechanic at the same time, okay? Ask me in the comments if you've got any questions about that, because that can be a little bit of a tricky one to do if you're not quite, if you're not quite confident, okay? That's why a different starting point with the same movement mechanic can be very effective to alleviate these leg strap issues. Now, naturally, this advice is great for those who are able-bodied, as a vast amount of the Ring Fit demographic is. However, if you do struggle with certain mechanics or would not class yourself as able-bodied, finding a way to get those movement mechanics working for you is far more important than getting it absolutely right. And that's going to come down to your individual circumstances. As long as you can work out the range of motion that the Joycon needs to go through, you can figure something out that works for your body. So look, those are the best troubleshooting issues I've been able to find for the leg strap in Ring Fit Adventure. Make sure your Joycons are charged and paired to the switch properly. Make sure you've got this done up properly as well. Make sure you've got the Velcro done up properly. Recalibrate the thigh strap, and then make sure you are going through the correct range of motion, or increase it slightly to ensure that the leg strap is detecting the full range of motion for that move. It can be really tough. I understand it can be really tough to navigate leg strap problems. Hopefully you found a good solution in here that is going to help you. As I said before, jump into the comments if you've got any questions and we'll figure out something, or if I've missed something glaring as well. Any extra content about this topic will be put in the description as well for you for reference. Fantastic. Okay, let me know in the comments if this has helped you, or if there's a specific move you need help with. I'd love it if you like the video, share and subscribe to the channel for more fitness and Ring Fit content coming in soon. I've got some more technique guides and stuff on the way. Thanks again. I've been Master Trainer Peter, and I'll see you soon.